Hello there. Thank you so much for choosing to be part of our conversation today as we continue looking at the landscape of politics as we run towards the 2027 general elections. It has been said in different quarters that it appears that the 2027 general elections will be determined by the young people. The population indicate in the same direction, but there is also what is reported about the young people and their attitude towards elections. To help us in the conversation is one of the young people who will tell us their side of the story. It is said that although they are registering in large numbers, they usually don't show up to vote. So they can't be a threat when it comes to determining the future and the outcome of the 2027 elections. What are your thoughts? Put them in the comment section and please share the video widely. Get more people to join and flow with us. How are you, sir? I'm great. Well, remind us your name and your business of life.
I run a podcast as a co-host. It's called Survival Mode, and also I'm a businessman. I do the business of taking the pain points of moving from house to house. Like I move people. So today now, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Welcome to the show. And of course, we have that thrown out notion that it appears 2027 is for you guys to decide. Do you feel the same and why?
That's an interesting question.
Yes.
And as it is, any time that you hold something like a boil, behind your seating apparatus, it's sometimes it will burst, and it can burst, give out a very awful, an odor, and it's not nice, you know. So now looking ahead for the 2027 elections and the youths, as I always believe, and there are statistics showing, the number is always growing. As we drive towards the 2027 and we want to look at the elections, how the youth, the number of the youth will influence the outcome. We need to look at what has happened. We had the 2024 protests. 2024 protests can tell you now, as we gear towards 2027, what can happen, but we have to look at the evidence. So the 2024 protests, the youths took to the streets. It was an anger, and as I look at it, we remember the 2010 constitution. We were given some playbook or a rule book that it came into play in the 2024 protest. It was the first of the first. It has never been seen before. So that's where the youths the youths made people to read that book. They took it to the streets. They said, you must listen to us. But then, now talking of the election, you can only wait to see from, of course, what has happened and what will happen if that anger that they took them to the street will be converted into votes come 2027.
So it's are you in any way saying that there is a way to diffuse that anger and passion that the young people had before the 2027, especially by the political elites in the attempt to save themselves from that wrath?
Now, you look at the youths. Now, talk of diversion of the anger. You can say there is there is some diversion that is gonna happen. Some it's just that there is we can the youths have no control over, and others is just by design. So diversion comes in this way. The president might use incumbency. That is, you see, he's in power and there are projects he's doing. So he might use that to, like, he has the power to lure the youths, not to, I mean, to diffuse the anger first through mentioning one or two projects. We are seeing the SGR, we are seeing the affordable housing, we are seeing recently, on 21st of this month, he told the youths, okay, who are the people in school? They are the youths, especially universities. They are the youths that the government will take over. They will fund them now fully. So what does that tell that youth down in the village who has been struggled, even had to defer his studies or her studies? Hearing that the government is going to do something, they become hopeful. Hope keeps you going. So when they become hopeful, the anger, and they are like, the president is doing something. And again, you look at the opposition now. I'm still on the diversion point. You look at the opposition. We don't have the strong opposition that can stand and say that we are rallying to maybe to in on behalf of the youth. So the youths are mostly to, their votes. They have someone who people have had some saying, I'm for Matiang'i, I'm for Kalonzo Musyoka. So that's also another area where votes are being diverted towards different opposition figures. They are not decided. But if they could take their anger and rally behind one youth to vie for presidency. Okay, you can even be disappointed that we had one Morara Kebaso going for saying that he will vie and head a party, inject party that is. But now he has joined Jubilee Party. So that's also diversion, because when he came out, when he put himself out there are people who believed in him. And if he moves with that number, that's also another area of diversion.
Now, are you in any way saying that the young people are easily bought? Because it is clear that what the moves that the president is making now is to try and win them over when they had walked away. The really cause of the protests was a systematic failure. Systems were not working, and there were interference with the operations of the laid down, the constitutional laid down systems. And so the young people came out to say, we want the people to be accountable. Allow the judiciary to do their job. Let the parliament do their job. Let the Senate do their job, not this micromanaging. I believe that was majorly what was at play. Let's be as constitutional as we can get. Have we gotten there yet? Has now the systems improved that everything is now independent and interdependent as the Constitution stipulates, so that now young people can relax? Or it's because you've been given a carrot, swallowed it, and now you can dance the same music that you are resisting?
You cannot, not really. I'm not of the point that the youths are easily bought. You see, you can give us the carrot for today, but the anger keeps on building up, and it's only just time, and the anger, the youths will explode again, because we have been you can observe the patterns. 2024 happened, June happened, and again come to 2026 recently, we had other demonstrations. So the anger is there. They can use brute force to shut down those demos, or uh, threaten to shoot, to kill, and disappearance. Forced disappearances. But the anger is still there. The youth are not easily bought, except some of those that have deserted the role they had bargained to take up and be leaders of the youth. I cannot mention them, but we know them. Those that they defected to ODM, some others are under UDA. They are supporting the government, but they are not. Their mind is not the mind of the rest of the youths. You know, when demos are being called, the youth show up with anger, and there's something that is touching them. The high cost of living, even the school fee that their parents are not able to pay. So a few might defect and join the government, or whatever party they can join, but they don't speak for the majority of the youths. I will give you the instance, still basing my argument on the 2024 demos. You heard the slogan, leaderless, partyless. So these ones that are defecting, they are not the leaders of Gen Z. It was done, it was partyless and leaderless, because for a very long time now, we have seen those people that are become identified as the ring leaders. There's a way they are grabbed, given something, and they are taken away. I mean, they start now singing another song different from the song the youths sing. So they are not bought.
No, if you say those who are called by government and given some incentives and they change tune, isn't that being bought? And then on the other hand, when the Gen Z are leaderless, partyless, and the rest, how do we make them a voting demographic that can be relied upon? Since we don't have their leader, we don't have somebody to speak for them, how can we be guaranteed that when it comes to the day of voting, they will come out in mass and be able either to save the day for the current administration or take away the current administration by overwhelmingly voting in a new set of leadership?
That's a good observation. Now, I will tell you this. It's good that you call us Gen Z, and it has changed, by the way. We are now Gen Zote. It's Gen Z, now the Z, we have added Gen Zote, or Gen All, Generation All. So we include the millennials and other. So this is a wave, and it's sweeping across. So now, taking you back to how we can be relied upon, you see, the mobilization was done through online, right? And the numbers were huge. The resources like posters, the information was flowing so fast, and there was no one leading, sitting somewhere saying, release this poster, release whatever footage has happened somewhere. It was so fast without someone leading. So how can we count on the youth on 2027 general election? I will mention this. Gen Z have this something like slogan. You have heard Tukokadi. So Tukokadi is another way. Like no, there's no a youth that has come out who is now the leader of Gen Zs and said go and register yourself as a voter. But simply by saying asking you Ukokadi, you know you are supposed to take go register and let's get ready for 2027. So the Tukokadi movement is really moving. Even my friends have registered for as registers. They have registered as voters, and we are ready for 2027. Nikokadi.
Ukokadi. Thank you for being Kadi. But you said something there that there was no leader and systems were working in terms of mobilization and getting the young people out to go and express their dissatisfaction by the current administration. Is it that there was no leader or the leader was incognito? Because I don't see how we can have a spontaneous and well-organized demos that don't have a leader. The worst could be they have a faceless leader. So is it that the Gen Z don't have leaders or they have faceless leaders?
Well, incognito is the word. Now, because any day people commit to do something, there is a way they could be confusion. But then they in this one, so someone might just among the group that commits to something, someone may be saying do this or do that. But then it goes also without saying that the others did not like vote him to lead them. It's just that he was, there is a way leadership hates, vacuum in leadership is not that.
Nature abhors,
Yeah,
nature abhors vacuum.
Yeah. So someone must fit in at least to say, to give some sense of direction. So that's what happened. And as I said, incognito could be the word. But Gen Z have not stood out and said, as Gen Z, we are being led by person X. So it's just someone saying, taking advantage. But I could use incognito.
Okay, now, that being the case, is that aspect of leadership still prevailing now, or it was only in existence during the demos? And if that is the case, this faceless incognito leadership, is it still determined to ensure that the young people get what they were agitating for? Because from the look of things, we are reverting back to the old system.
Well, there is. I've heard this before, and I keep seeing it. The more the things change, the more they remain the same. So, for instance, you could ask me, did our protest, did the Gen Z protest in 2024 yield fruits? And I would confidently tell you yes and no. Yes, because the protest made the president to act so fast. He did some reshufflement in his cabinet, withdrew the bill. So that one, that was success, which came very fast. But then the bill passed anyway. Now they're on the other side, and also those same figures that were whom the Gen Z were against, they find they find some way back into office, public office. So that way it did not work, and that's why the anger keeps on coming, and it will some point we are anticipating that in the future, as the things are going, they change, then you see them being the same the way they were, which means that even the anger we are abhorring still keeps building up, and we are only it's a time bomb, it's a ticking time bomb. And now just by give it time, and we'll see it explode, because the same thing the youths are complained about are the ones that they are still not working. Then we keep hearing the narratives that never come to fruition. So we are just if you can remember, there's a way even at our house you keep angering your mother, and then you receive a slap from nowhere. That will hit our leadership very soon.
Okay. Drain the whole swamp. Is that the same maximum at the moment, or now the swamp has become paradise?
Well, they keep saying we are going to Singapore. Draining the whole swamp. It was also part of the slogan that really carried the day in 2024. I think it has died down for at the moment where we are. The whole slogan of draining the whole swamp has gone down. But then some I like what Eric Omondi is doing, collecting signatures to reduce the counties to 8. I mean, go back to the provincial thing, and it's a good thing, because he argues that there are some leaders who their position means nothing, adds nothing to the common mwananchi. And like now nominated positions, senators, MPs, and all that, they are not adding value. So going back to again, moving from the 47 to 8 kind of makes sense, or budget wise, and over representation that is there. You cannot be just, you are this one person from this one area being represented by 18 people, and those 18 people, you like in a year you will only see one person representing real representation, doing real representation. So we keep as the youths, we are going to drain we will rally behind Eric Omondi's idea to drain. His other argument is that President Ruto will be the last of his generation on that seat. So if that happens, then the draining of the swamp then happens nicely, and we can only wait to see.
No, there is this challenge here where, and I agree with you about the Eric Omondi approach towards reducing the counties from 47 to 8. It's a welcome idea, and initially that was what the Constitution had made provision for. If you look at the Bomas draft, the devolution was never to be 47. The 47 was as a result of the insecurities of President Kibaki. And of course, as usual, it was assumed that if you had a governor controlling like the whole of Rift Valley, and we have our elections and is rigged out, he would declare independence from the rest of Kenya and be able to hive off Kenya and declare it as an independent state. And so out of the same, we created a huge problem that we have 48 budgets every year to fund. What we are funding is not profiting, I could say, in terms of the general public. And so the reduction of those counties to at maximum 12, that is a welcome idea. Any sensible Kenyan should support that. And those insisting to continue with 47 counties are sick. They need to be admitted at Mathare Hospital, intensive care unit, if there is one like that in Mathare Hospital. Now, back to the conversation of draining the whole swamp and making Ruto the last one in his generation to be on that seat. In 2022 elections, we had the contest between William Ruto of Kenya Kwanza and Raila Odinga for the Azimio coalition. And one of the things that informed the picking of Martha Karua as Raila Odinga's running mate was to target the women vote as a demographic that can easily influence the outcome of an election. And we had serious debate on the same, whether it's viable or not. Come on the voting day, we didn't see much effect on the same. And now 2027 is here. We have this other not traditional demograph, okay? Like, of course, our elections traditionally has been tribal. So if you can get two communities together, huge communities together, you can always run away with victory. So those are traditional demograph of voting that we know, blocks that have worked. The women fraternity, we tried it 2027, it didn't give us yield. And then we are being invited to count on another new demograph called the youth to try until the 2027 elections. Do we have reasons to rely on this youth vote, or we should just work hard in ensuring that what we know will work?
So if and anyone who is a keen observer, we look at Kenya is a patriarchal like kind of nation where people the people kind of believe in male leadership. So, and I was with my friend during that period when the Right Honorable Raila was choosing his running mate. So choosing Martha Karua, my friend whom I was with was like, how can you choose a woman? This is, they associate, my friend associated the woman with duties at
the kitchen,
Motumia, like my wife, you know, my companion. So and you could have, as you said, it was to get votes from the women. But women want, it's like they like being led by they love the leadership of men. So that's why you saw the huge numbers on the other side of Ruto and Gachagua. Whereas the home area of our Martha Karua, they didn't even give much. So then you will wonder why, and this supports the patriarchal aspect factor. Now, to the other question, if the Gen Z can be relied upon coming, or we should stay with our the ones we know.
Yes.
So far, we have not had the Gen Z have not stood up to. We could just shout and say we have Babowino and Sifuna. Those guys are not Gen Z. Babowino just is past 35. 35 is the Gen Z are the youths, if I am correct, right? So he's past 35, and you could say that now. I mentioned earlier we are Gen Zote. Why not him represent Gen Z? He's not a Gen Z. Then
But Gen Z is not I would say a constitutional provided for standard when it comes to leadership. And constitutionally, the youth in the constitution are defined from being 35 and below. But when it comes to representation, whether somebody is 78 or 18, he can represent both the 78 as well as the 15. So representation cannot be locked to the Gen Z bracket. The Gen Z movement was a good accident that took place, but it doesn't need to be crystallized and made in such a way that it is us only and no one else. And if it's not for us, we will not go anywhere else.
now, we just want to see that the swamp we are talking about, not every day you see the same person. Yeah, it's right that the Gen Z, we are, and this in this context, I'm putting them in the category of the youth. The range of is it 15 to 35 or 18 to 35? So that's why I'm saying Babu is past that age. But if he goes out and speaks the mind of the Gen Z, then we could be okay. Now, looking at the Gen Z representation that, okay, to take over leadership, the exposure that has been given, it's only on this the same some. It's like a pattern, not a pattern, but rite of passage where you go through stages. Like even the current president was was in the youth for KANU. Then he has been exposed to the system, and now he became president during this time. But there is what he has learned. Now, for the Gen Z, of course, now like Mr. Sifuna and Honorable Babu have been privileged to have learned from the his Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. So the way it stands now, they are our best chances at leadership. But to lead this nation, you need some kind of experience and exposure. These are the people that have been exposed. So these are the ones that the Gen Z could put their faith in.
Okay, I appreciate that. But here is my point in terms of representation. We don't have a constituency called Gen Z. But Gen Z is part of our existing constituency. Their representation don't need to be by one of the Gen Z. It just needs to be a leader who has captured what the Gen Z are agitating for and is able to bring it to fruition. For example, the late legend Raila Amolo Odinga has carried the aspiration, especially of the young people, for the longest time in this country. Is 40 plus years of political activism and function. He provided hope and a future for more young people, even in his old age, than youthful leaders. Or if I could remind you, remember when Jalango and who else? Ojiambo, is it called Ojiambo, the senator of Kisumu?
Tom,
They went to State House during that Azmio, wherever, protests. And the kind of bashing they received was such that they are going against the grain, okay, was a betrayal, not only to Baba, but to the majority of the Kenyans' aspiration. And so the aspect of the young people having representation, it doesn't need to be by another young man. Secondly, there is also a disappointment I have with youthful members of parliament, youthful governors, youthful MCS, youthful senators. They have not shown us any difference that they are making in that house to convince us that the more youthful you are, the better leader you are. So this draining of the swamp, is it sweeping age bracket, or it is looking for a quality of leadership that indeed we are proud to identify with as our representative?
Mm-hmm. So you look at like the old generation, how they have been running things, and the way now the youthful leaders you mentioned are doing things. So it's kind of more of a shift from old ways to new ways that the population, or we should now adapt to. You know, change, there is a way change comes, and at most times we don't welcome change. Now, going back to, you have mentioned of the late Raila Amolo Odinga. What he has done for those 40 plus years you mentioned, it's quite, we cannot, any day, any time, we should give, we should applaud that, what he has done. What I can say on the other side of our youthful leaders and the old generation, the things they do, and I mean how they run the office they hold, there is a shift, but we just want to move from the old way of doing things, and it's only a matter of time the population adapts, and let's embrace the youthful leadership. But then it's okay to have some older generation leadership that aligns with seeing the youths shine, giving them opportunities, and because we cannot help but the entire population is youthful.
It's a proverb that has been on this desk before, that if a young man learns to wash his hands well, will be allowed to eat with the elders on the table. My disappointment with youthful leaders is that their performance is worse than the elderly leaders. I'll give you two examples. Simba Arati is a young man, the governor of Kisii. Okay? Otuoma is not as old as the other governors. His performance in Busia is terrible. Look at Joshua Sang, Nandi. There was another expose of a ghost hospital, okay, that has been, receiving allocation, Mbakasa Shah, that has just been painted, okay? So you will see clearly that leadership is not by age. it has an aspect of being responsible. Oparanya, my former governor in Kakamega, if you have an opportunity of Western Province is a very small place. Travel from Trans Nzoia, Bungoma, through Busia, pass through Vihiga, then go to Kakamega. Kakamega looks like Nairobi if you have passed through these other counties. But they have received same allocation, okay? They have been in existence as long as Kakamega. The difference has been Oparanya was more, including the current governor. He has nothing to point out of what he has done to add on what Oparanya did. So Oparanya's performance and leadership as a governor of Kakamega is ranked higher, despite the fact that he's not a youth. So what is this about youthful leadership that can convince us to believe that they would deliver if their predecessors are a disappointment? Look at what is going on in Parliament. There is somebody called KJ. There is what Ndindinyoro. There is Osoro. Okay, those are youthful people. The only people standing out is Sifuna and Babu. Okay, in their being principled on matters legislation and refusing to be bought by the administration. But the rest, I mean, they are even worse. They don't wait to be asked. They volunteer to go and be bribed so that they do the wrong that is contributing to the downfall of the majority of the public. So are we in any way better off with youthful leadership than old leadership? Another reminder, one of the reasons why the Uhuru Ruto ticket was celebrated was to do away with the old guards. We bring in youthful leadership, okay? Uhuru Ruto. Now we have Ruto Kindiki. Ruto Gachagua, Ruto Kindiki. All right? How have they performed compared to the old Kibaki and old Raila?
Now, I like that you kind of brought out a word I wanted to use, the old guard.
Yes.
So it's fortunately the youthful leaders who are in those positions you have mentioned have come there after someone, and that someone was not a youth, it was old guard now. So these people that the old generation, Kenya, we practice politics of patronage. So when that youthful leader came into power, there's a way he or she found the system. So like the ghost hospital you are mentioning, and this not to defend the person holding that office, but the person who was after, it's a system. The person that was there before now the current might be the one associated with those fictitious, those ghost hospitals and that the budgets that come with it, or even the ghost workers. So the system by design is can be the one now that is currently, because you have discovered it now, but not when that old guard was there, in quotes. So
that one would be an excuse, because Joshua Sang is serving his second term. How long do you take to be in office to discover that there's an existing hospital in your county that's receiving allocations without it being operative. The purpose of devolution was even to slice the Kenyan demography into smaller units so that they can be properly managed. So instead of Nairobi deciding on how Navaholo District Hospital will receive medicine, let it be decided at Kakamega Town. Okay? Then from Kakamega Town to Navaholo, it's a 1 hour wherever by road. Get that? So the closer it is, the easier it is to manage. So if I'm in office, this is my second term, and I'm not aware there is a ghost hospital, and I am youthful, isn't that a disaster?
What you are saying can only support that. Then we don't need the devolution, but not the youthful leader.
No, the effectiveness of a leader, okay, is in the proper utilization of resources. That's the whole purpose, the essence of public service. Kenya has a title deed, Republic of Kenya, isn't it? Then the people charged with the leadership of Kenya is to take care of that resources that is covered in that title deed on behalf of Kenyans. So nobody becomes a governor to be a governor. He becomes a governor to take charge of the resources on behalf of the public. So if those resources are getting looted under your watch, and the best explanation you can give us is that maybe the previous administration is the one that did this, it goes without saying you are irresponsible, incompetent, and not to be trusted.
Now that one that one is very serious. But now what we are saying is you can, if now you bring those the old and the young ones,
Yes.
you subject them through a lens, a very like you really subject them to see whether I mean in terms of their performance. We can see they fail, but the old fail even more because we have been they have been there before us and for a very long time. Now what we are asking is give this the young people a chance. The examples you can you have quoted can just be a very 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 few, right? And even if you mention it, you and it's a good thing you quoted Ndindinyoro is youthful, but have you seen his track record?
That's what I'm saying. Leadership is not an issue of age. Because if it was, between Oparanya and Otuoma, who is more youthful and who is more exposed in terms of the current technology to hasten the programs of development in a county? Oparanya is analog, okay? If Oparanya performs better than Otuoma, the problem is not allocations. The problem is mismanagement of given resources. And if the younger people are mismanaging the resources, then it means they are half-baked. They were given leadership when they are not ripe enough. And that is why they are underperforming. And their underperforming is negatively affecting the public.
Now, one size does not fit.
Hold on. Arati took over from the Ongwai, okay? Ongwai was an old guy, all right? Now, look at the performance of Ongwai, okay, compared to Arati in 5 years. You get that? Then tell us, is it youthful leadership we need or competent leadership we need? Because from the look of things, competence here should be the check word and not youthful or old.
Now, I'm happy you are not supporting the old or the older generation. But then I will now I will say that competency should always reign, should always carry the day. If someone is not performing, you can kick them out like they are not competent. But what we are calling for is the youth to go for leadership and have the chance to lead, and also the old to let the youth lead. But competency should always carry the day. I'm not supporting that. I'm not supporting the old always being there. I'm not supporting the old being there when even them they are not. If they are not competent or they are competent, but the young people go there to have. They should go take leadership, be responsible, and us who vote, we go for competency.
My issue with you is one.
Mm.
From where I sit, I don't want anybody being put in office on the ground that is youth or old. This country has suffered enough in the hands of people who are voted for on wrong standard measures. Okay? We vote in an idiot simply because he's from our village. Okay? And eshenyu na eshenyu, like they say in our place. At wenu ni wenu, hata we mbaya, akinuka ni wenu. Okay? So you put in an idiot in office, then he runs down the county, and then you turn around and tell us, let us give him another term because he's supposed to have 10 years like every other person. I need, especially from you young people, to come up and raise the bar and say, if we're going to put you in office, you must show us that you can outperform. Whether you are 16, whether you are 18, you are 36, you are 78. Can you uphold the Constitution? Can you ensure that no Kenyan child goes without quality education? Will you guarantee that there will be food security? Can we bank on you that you cannot be bought, you cannot be bribed by external forces to sell the soul of your country? That to me counts better than you telling me that I should get rid of my 70-plus-year-old Oparanya who is competent.
You know why I'm laughing?
Because there is now a youthful Malala. Okay?
No, the reason I'm laughing is because
Yes.
you are indirectly saying that the youth should run this country, because we have shown that we are more of issue-based rather than tribal-based. Because the example I will just give you, it's how we took to the street. The 2024, that was revolutionary. We showed that we are moving away from, by the and it's your generation that likes that thing you said, wetu ni wetu. Hata akiwa vile yako. You recycle the people that keep draining you. But for us, we are issue-based. So, like, can you do this for us? Then we don't care. You are from Kisii, you are from Luya, you are Luya land, you are from the mountain. Can you do this? We are behind you. So, for Gen Z now, the young people, we want to change that. Tribal lines, patronage. So I'm happy you brought it up yourself.
I have no issue with that in terms of people going tribalist. Okay? Okay, of course, I'm from the Luya community, and I'm proud to report that we are the most democratic community in this entire country. And our democracy has been under attack for years. All of it on the premise that we don't put all our votes in one basket and give to one person. And I love that freedom. In Luya land, my mother used to be in Kanu, my mother in Kadu. my mother was in Kanu, my father in Kadu. Okay? And they would go and vote, come back and cook omena, and they eat together. There are places that cannot take place. Okay? So our democracy needs to be freed, especially from that patronage and tribal control. I believe in free voting, competent leadership, in my opinion, that is ratified and authorized by the majority of Kenyans must be widespread. The reason why it's called general election and the president should be appointed by, or rather voted for by, the majority of Kenyans is not in numbers. It is in how widespread are those numbers. But if you have a president who can only go to 2 regions, the other regions have rejected him. He may be president, but is illegitimately in that office because the majority of the entirety of the country did not ratify him. And so these numbers needs to mean something. But what will be the driving force, okay, to command widespread numbers that ratify you? It's in your competence. But now if we arrest, like we're having a conversation about this homecoming of Edwin Sifuna, there are those who are saying it's to his advantage. Others are saying it's a setup to trap him into being a community leader, and the rest of the country will run away from him. And so it's still debatable. But what I would love for you young people is to rise up to the occasion and prove that you have come of age. You can run this country rightly as opposed to those that have gone ahead of you. Then you should also be able to pinpoint, like you said, Babu Wino, Edwin Sifuna, Ndindi Nyoro have demonstrated that being young does not stop you from being a leader.
Now,
but if we are covering up people who are incompetent, unable to perform, and say because they are youth and we are in the season of the youth, let's just put them in office, no.
You see now, the other problem we are facing is if from the top we keep seeing the same patterns and look at all the coalitions we have had that really keeps taking us back, and if the top seat is that way, there is a way others just keep in line. It goes that way. So what I'm talking about, you look at the top seat and the coalitions we have had, even right now, you might be surprised that the country is run by the same tribalism that we are trying to run away from. Look at it was the Uhuru was backing Raila in 2022 elections. Then Ruto was on the other side. So you can say Uhuru and Raila, there was some kind of a pact, right? So where Uhuru was, the mountain was there. Is that true? I was like their kingpin. And it was not, you can say it was not the entire mountain, but there is tribalism I want you to identify. Come to now Raila and Raila being backed by Uhuru, that is two communities coming together to garner votes, right? Then in 20 after the demonstration, Raila and Ruto, they start speaking, they form the broad-based. So now we have here the Kalenjin, we have the mountain, and we have the Luo nation. These now are the tribes that have been there. And when, I don't know if you have, I believe you have heard, even among your circles, that one person saying, sisi tuko kwa government. Ai, hata mawe aturushi. I've heard such as from the lake side. Tuko kwa government. Sisi hata mawe aturushi. We are okay. So, and then even the Kalenjin will tell you, it's our time. now that the mountain is out, it's our time. So if that, and that's on the presidency. And once we know there is that, and one guy has gone live to tell you that it's a government of shareholding when he was in. So what does shareholding means? You are deputy, you are the president. So you take some, I take some, and the ones I have, I dish them out the way I want, and there's someone who will not get it. So tribalism runs the country. We can only try to get away from it by trying to see if these young people, they can come up with different mindset of not having that same mentality of the old people, and change the system. Like, let's move away from you are this tribe, so you get that job. You are from that one who opposes me, you don't get. That's not development. The national cake is not. It should not be divided in ethnical lines. That's the problem we have. So if the top leaders can show us the way, then because they are from the old generation and they kind of think the same, then we bring this new generation and with different mindset that it can be done.
I get your point, and because of time, we need to land. But here is the issue. Our politics have always been a pull and a push between two forces, the opportunists and the nationalists. The reason why we have not been able to make much progress as a nation, because we have deprived leadership from the nationalists and left it in the hands of opportunists. And when the opportunists get in office, they see opportunities. And the best person to eat with is your kinsman. And so for us to move away from where we are is to find a nationalist. Somebody who his tribe doesn't matter. We have a country to build. Like what Ibrahim Traore is doing. He's building Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso has different communities, but you don't hear about those communities. The roads are being built for the country. Schools are being built for the country. Hospitals are being built for the country. He wants every child of Burkina Faso have quality education, quality health care. He doesn't want too much foreign influence in determining the direction of the country. So he's a nationalist and he's pushing the national agenda. Here, we get sworn in the name of Kenya, holding the Kenyan constitution. But at State House, we run our tribesmen's manifesto. So, our choice of leaders determines the outcome of the leadership we enjoy as a people. That is why we must correct the marking scheme, the standard. Okay? Are we going to measure people for leadership based on their age bracket or on their nationalistic outlook, number one, their character in terms of them not being selfish? Because why should you go to a national office and begin to practice nepotism and tribalism? It's because you are selfish. But the right character for leadership is selflessness. People who can forego their own comfort for the welfare of the country. We don't have many of them. And the few that are there are demonized so that they don't get into leadership, lest they upset the system that feeds the selfish ones. So as young people, provide us an avenue of getting right leadership and not just, pushing in our face age bracket. Age bracket is not a standard.
Now, I will just, that one is very sensitive, and I will just throw it to your viewers. They are the ones to blame I mean, or we are in general, we are the ones to blame, because the kind of people we put there, we are like, we you saw someone who was campaigning with a bicycle, got into office, and they really saw the true colors of that person. So it's like we don't have a discerning eye. On that one, I will not defend the youth or talk of anything, but it's the problem is now us. It's we are unable to identify or read someone from what he can do, or even judge from what he has done before. Like you judge from an MP will come and tell you he's vying for the second time. You don't take time to put him on like see his track record of the past 5 years to determine what he can do next. I've seen from the where I come from here, my constituency, the person will come at when we are nearing the elections. They come with huge amounts of money in terms of bursaries. So that time you are guaranteed to get a bursary. When we are now, the elections are just around the corner. But then previously you have never seen that person. There are constituencies where they have never had their representative represent them in the house, on the floor of the house. They normally they are waiting to see him or her during when the campaigns now begin. So who is the problem here? The people. And it's so sad that we know there's a way. I don't know if you have heard this. There are empathy votes. We Kenyans are so good. We are so good with empathy votes. Like you will come and you look miserable. You are looking for votes, and we'll sympathize with. We will even give you money. I mean, make some contribution for you to run for that office. But when you get there, it's when now you see, I've been poor for a long time. It's time now
to make something for myself.
So it's the people. I will not add anything. The people.
I won't dispute that in the interest of time. 2027, what is your projection? And how would you rally people to go and express themselves through the ballot?
Through the ballot. So 2027, again, the way it's going to be, I will not predict precisely, but I have how it's going to. I have a few. I have a theory how it can span out. It can pan out. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, the president Ruto. He might be unpopular right now, but the way things are, he's unpopular, unbeatable, and I can support that by saying, yes, the way the life is, I mean the high cost of living and all that, now he has his brand has gone down. I mean, people don't trust him, but now he's unbeatable in the sense that we don't have a united opposition. You'll be hearing there is a Gachagua, there is a Kenya Moja, and you have also had Linda Mwananchi. So the opposition keeps us on limbo. We don't know who is who. So that's very advantageous to the president. So he might take it home again due to...
I mean, where is it a requirement for opposition to unite in order for someone to win against the president?
No, it's good that when we have Gachagua has the people he commands respect from, or the numbers that listen to him, right? It's not written that they should reunite, but when we have one person and you put the power behind him, you raise the stakes.
We want to have a leader for the country. Different people are on the ballot. It's for Kenyans to decide who is competent, able to provide leadership. The uniting before the election is part of the rigging process, because we really want to have these people to go and square it out, okay, in the eyes of Kenyans, so that the winner is indeed a winner. Not prearranging an outcome before you go for context because it gives you an advantage. So right now, I don't think any Kenyan should be confused about how to vote and is waiting for united opposition to unite. We don't need them to unite. If they unite, well and good. If they don't, we have a general election. Then we have a decision to make who is going to be the next CEO
Of this country.
And there is no guarantee, or rather, there's no law that says it has to be Ruto, the current president. Any person on the ballot, including Wajakoya, okay, if he wins the hearts of Kenyans and convinces Kenyans that he is the right CEO for this country, it should be voted for, whether it's from Roots Party, Leaves Party, or Branch Party.
Well, the way you are putting it,
Yes.
It's like everyone deserves a chance to go and showcase what they have.
Yes.
But now, answer the question like how it's going to be. That's how the elections will turn up to be.
Our constitution has a roadmap for that.
That.
If Sifuna is on the ballot, Gachagua is on the ballot, Kalonzo is on the ballot, Wajakoya is on the ballot, okay? We are looking for one president.
One president.
Ruto is on the ballot.
Ruto is on the ballot.
Kenyans should be left to choose. Even if there are 40 of them, they should be left so that they run. So let Ruto get 30%, Gachagua get 40%, the rest get 1%, 10%, and all that, okay? They will not make it to 50 plus 1. All right? Then we go for a runoff constitutionally, okay? Then find the one who wins between these two forces. But arranging a runoff before we go for a general election that we should ramp up these people together, we are even going to end up with the wrong one.
That can happen.
Of the opposition. Like, quickly, time is bad, but I just want you to know that our politics is very twisted, okay? Twisted in the sense that, like, if I'm running for member of parliament, okay, from your constituency, and the most popular political party, okay, in your constituency that can command sizable followership of votes is having what they call nominations, okay? I would sponsor the weakest in that nomination so that he wins the ticket, all right? Then me, I come in as independent or another political party, and then now that I'm running against the weak, that I instigated myself by sponsoring him, although I'm not a member of that party. So this, like what they have instituted, that the opposition should put an open voting, where Kenyans will vote for will be the wherever the candidate for opposition. That's an open field. William Ruto with his bloggers will ramp up that vote and vote for the weakest among the opposition so that he has a runoff. I mean, a runover in the elections. So, in my take, let everybody go.
Let everybody go. But then they are increasing the chances of how it will come out with President William Ruto taking it home very early.
How?
That was that's what I was explaining. When everyone goes to the ballot, you know, as a Kenyan, you can only vote for one person, right? You cannot vote for Kalonzo and then you vote for Matiang'i, for instance, right? So if now Matiang'i is there and Kalonzo is there, you will say, I'm voting for Kalonzo, then Matiang'i loses out. You get it.
We have
So
done that before.
if the goal, okay, what's the goal? Do you want to retain the current president or vote him out?
We are looking for a leader. We are not in any way looking for somebody to be in office or out of office. That, number
Yes.
one, is a very wrong way of approaching the elections. Because like what is being said in the bunge la wananchi ni hatujui ni nani atakuwa president. Kile tunajua ni nani ambaye hatutaruhusu akuwe president. Now, if that is the mantra, what is going to happen is after we have removed this one, okay, we can bring in a worst of them all because we didn't put this other one on scale. We just voted him in because we wanted the other one out. Like it has been reported, a majority of Mount Kenya people, they went to vote to stop Raila from being president. They didn't vote for Uhuru Kenyatta. They didn't vote for William Ruto. They voted against Raila Odinga. And what has become, as soon as the elections is over, they are the first ones to cry for not putting on the scale the people they are voting in just to vote against another person. So we shouldn't multiply that and make it a national standard.
we should then focus on the root cause because it's still happening. It will happen again. They recently concluded by elections in
Olekalau.
You saw that they voted to, like, there is no way they could have they would want to vote someone associated with the current regime. So you might, and I'm using might because I don't know how, if, I mean, the UDA candidate, if he could have delivered for them. But they voted in mass for the Sami. They just elected MP. It's kind of to punish the UDA candidate, not the UDA candidate, but the president, because
Yes, it was a message to the president.
it was a message.
Yes.
But then now you see that we have a problem. It's a problem that sits down there and we need to go for that.
So find a solution to that problem. In the next episode, you should be telling us how do we solve it.
Yeah,
because,
that one.
if we are going to the general election with the same standard, then we should be prepared for the same results.
That's the standard we are going with, and there is no one can do anything about it. That's the standard.
Are you saying the situation is hopeless? Nothing can be done about it?
At the moment, of course, I'm hopeful. I normally don't like losing hope, but now it's good. Situational analysis is very important. Look around. That's what we are doing. You said even at the Bunge la Mwananchi, we know who we are not voting for. Others said that even if a child, they can put a child in that seat, but not Ruto. Now, is that child a leader? We are looking for a leader, not the other way around.
Thank you. Let's cut it there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of the conversation. We really appreciate you. Please be an extension of what we are doing here right where you are by sharing the video widely and get the Kenyans conversing credibly for the sake of the betterment of our leadership, for the safety of our country. Don't be part of the choir that sees no evil,
Yes,
says no evil, and supports anything simply because it's from your backyard or from your region. It is time to rise above the bar and do the right thing, even if it is unpopular. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next show. God bless you.